Hey again, welcome to another little lesson in writing. I have here an essay writing frame, and I just wanted to walk through and explain everything if you do plan on using the frame to help you make sure that you're checking all the boxes for strong writing. So the first thing that we have up here is the prompt. One thing is to summarize the prompt. What is the prompt asking you to do? What is the question that the assignment is having you do? And sometimes it helps just to write that out in your own words right there so that you can continually remind yourself what the purpose is for writing. We've already talked about the thesis frame, but remember you start with the topic, the assertion on the topic, and then the three supporting reasons. Again, so the assertion on the topic is your stance, right? What is it you're answering about that prompt, right? The prompt will ask you a question about a topic, and your answer or your belief about that topic is that assertion, right? And then why do you feel that way? And those are your reasons, right? So we can sort of plug those in right there. And then also the pre-write outline frame is just where we jot out that thesis into a complete sentence, right? The topic, the assertion, and the three reasons in a complete sentence. And then we can place out those three reasons into different body paragraphs. This helps us organize. Each body paragraph will focus on one of those reasons as a talking point within that paragraph. Right. And then what helps us is coming up with specific examples within that topic, specific details that support that reason, that connect with that reason, right? Supporting details for that portion of the topic. Now, what I have down here is I've broken down the actual essay itself into some types of sentences that can help you with each of the body paragraphs, each of the paragraphs that make up an essay. So the essay writing frame is what this document is and can be very helpful. So let's look first at that introductory paragraph. All right, your introduction. So you should open with an attention grabber, a hook. Say something bold, something catchy that engages your audience, something that has to do with your topic. A strong statement, right? Give some general background information about your topic. Introduce it so that your audience knows what you're discussing, knows a little bit more about the topic, and can understand the issue or the topic you're addressing, right? Then transition from that general information into your thesis, and then have your thesis statement. Generally, the last sentence of the first paragraph is a great place to plug that thesis statement. And if you have all of these components, generally you can have a pretty strong start to an introductory paragraph. Now let's look at the body paragraph. Both body paragraphs, one and two, or all body paragraphs, whether you have three, all should have pretty much the same components, okay? A strong body paragraph always opens with a main idea statement. What is the main idea of that paragraph? And if we've done a good job outlining whatever each reason is, right? So the body paragraph one should focus on reason one, right? So let's go back down to body paragraph one. Whatever the reason was that we thought about in our first for our first reason in our outline, we're going to turn that into a body paragraph, right? So our reason will become a main idea statement. And then we need to come up with supporting examples and supporting details. So if I come up with a specific example that supports my reason, I may take a sentence to explain that example. And if I want to have a really strong body paragraph, I'm going to have more than one example that supports my reason, right? I'm going to have more than one piece of support if I really want to have a strong body paragraph. And then I'm going to make sure I explain that example so that it's very clear to my audience. And then what's very important is to wrap up each body paragraph with a little closing statement. So your main idea statement will establish and state what the reason is that you're discussing, and at the closing, your wrap-up sentence will touch back on the thesis and say why the reason that you have supports that overall thesis, right? It connects back to the overall topic, okay? So we'll come up with some examples of these, but as you can see, each of the 3 body paragraphs follows a exact same layout, right? But each of the body paragraphs is correlating with one of the reasons from the outline. And then finally, our conclusion paragraph, right? We are reflecting on the points that we've made, okay? We are restating our thesis. We are calling our audience to action, and we're offering some closing insights. All right, so when we think about reflecting on our points, what were our 3 reasons? What were the details and supporting examples that we included? And how can we reflect on those? How can we touch back on the strongest ones that we discussed, right? Then we should restate that thesis. It shouldn't be exactly the same as it is in the introduction, but we want to rephrase it in a creative way, right? We want to be smart with our word choice here at the closing. And then if we're arguing something, we want to call the audience to action. We can say, encourage them to do something about the issue or the topic that we're discussing. What is an action they can take to make a change? If you were going to give them a tidbit of advice that has to do with your topic, what would you encourage them to do? And then finally, a closing insight. And this is hard. This is one of the most, the introduction and the conclusions are sometimes very challenging parts of the essay, which is why I encourage students often to, do short introduction and conclusions, then write the body paragraphs, then return to your introduction and conclusion and revise and make them a little bit stronger after you've written the whole essay. You get to know your topic a little bit better when you've written the full essay out. So this may give you a chance to have a strong closing statement, a strong there at the end. All right. So I am essentially, these are some components for a strong essay here. This essay writing frame can be helpful. Again, it is just a frame. It's just a tool to help you get going. You don't absolutely have to use this, but it is a helpful tool. So I hope that it helps you stay organized and get some essays churned out, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. So have a great day. This is Miss G. Over and out.